Toy Story 4. Kind of a divisive movie from what I hear. Even still, I love this franchise and I love this film. In fact, it was this movie in particular that urged me to kick my YouTube career in a new direction as I just wanted to talk about it. And now we're doing it again. Up till now, we've done our little scene breakdowns on good scenes in bad movies, but you don't need to be in a bad movie to change a movie, and damn it, I just want an excuse to talk about Toy Story 4 again. Depending on how well this video does, we may be truly opening the floodgates on future scene breakdowns of both the good and bad, so prepare your suggestions for every scene that's hit you in the feels. Because today we're doing just that with the most memorable scene in Toy Story 4. No, it's not the rainy prologue, no, it's not the operation, no, it's not Naked Grandma, you weirdos! Okay, it's the most memorable scene to me, the heart-sinking moment that splits off right at that cliche ending our brains have been wired to build up to. It is the end result of Gabby Gabby's hard work right near the end of the film. We've had many different villains throughout the Toy Story franchise. There's Sid, the dog, Woody, I guess, in a certain sense, the Chicken Man, Stinky Pete, Lotso, that son of a gun who wrote this entire scene just to stab us in the heart. But none of them really hit quite the same as Gabby Gabby, because she doesn't act upon any sort of malice. Sure, there are other characters you can kind of feel for. They've got their own tragic backstories some of the time, but Gabby Gabby doesn't turn that into oppressing other toys. At most, there's a sense of desperation and a good handful of intimidation on the side. But all Gabby Gabby really wants is some assistance. She wasn't rejected by a kid or replaced later down the line. She wasn't cruel or felt toys would make a good snack. Though I guess she and Sid do agree on the mutilation front, huh? Gabby Gabby never gained a kid, as she was born broken. With a faulty voice box, that iconic quirk of Woody's to pull a string and spout, "Hey, there's a snake in my boot," is something Gabby Gabby has never had. And in her mind, it is all she would ever need to finally be plucked by a kid for the first time. And she's already got her sights on one kid named Harmony. Literally the goal for peace and happiness in the name. And so, that's her arc. She's lived her life in this dusty old attic house, never chosen by a child, but now not even wanting to be seen until she sorts herself out. She just can't handle that kind of rejection! But, despite lingering in the shadows of a creepy old room, she isn't at the bottom of the food chain. Befriended by a handful of identical yet horrifying marionette puppets who might have inspired me further back in 2019, she stands as the cream of the crop within her little world. And the cinematography matches that. Throughout most of this movie, Gabby Gabby stands with the camera peering up at her from a low angle. Her head, at least, always towering on the top half of the frame. Her preferred spot of comfort in this antique shop is high up on the shelves, protected by glass but spectating all. She is literally shown from above. Valueless to a child but invaluable in her little society. Essentially and literally having a throne that overlooks everyone and everything in the shop. She is the queen here. And then Woody shows up, the embodiment of everything Gabby Gabby wishes she could have had, experience being a child's favorite toy, sharing wonderful memories that they will hold for years and years. And even now, his voice box is still top notch. And so, as it goes, she learns more about him, learns about his past with Andy and how he's moved on, how Bonnie has abandoned him and that his time has long passed. She learns of his moral stances and ideologies of how caring for a child is the most noble thing one can do. And after many more intimidating approaches failed, after learning all there is to know about Woody, she comes in with one final attempt. A slower, still slightly scary, but more emotional approach. Talking about her wishes, mentioning Andy, talking about nobility, and pointing out that Woody's had his time, and she never had hers. This isn't the scene we're fully breaking down, but you can see an extract of some symbolism still coming out with the lighting. As Gabby Gabby pushes more and more, opportunities opening up, and she no longer has to hide in the shadows. She's literally started to come out into the light. I mean, I don't think any of us were really on board with the direction when Woody said, "Right, rip me up, yank it out, and stitch me together," but he does. And you too should make the decision to come subscribe. Here's my links, click them down below. We have a new one now, we have a Facebook page, come check it out. And hit the bell too. And so we reach Gabby Gabby's true crowning point. Finally, after all this time, her full plan can go into action and she can finally live the life of a toy that's guaranteed for so many other toys. She actually jumps right into action as soon as she can. Just as Woody is waking up, she's already saying her goodbyes. And right on cue, Bonnie reappears to give Woody and Forky an exit too, readying up for that wholesome happy ending as we the audience exit with Woody. Meanwhile, Harmony is on site. Gabby Gabby is in position and she uses her newly functional voice box.
You make me so happy. Let's be best friends.
And though Woody this whole time has just been focused on Forky, Bonnie, and getting out of here, Forky's got other thoughts in mind.
No, Woody, look! It's really happening!
And he stays to watch the magic happen. Harmony reaches up on the shelf to take Gabby Gabby. She's not as high up as she used to be, literally coming down a level, putting herself at a more vulnerable stage. As Harmony pulls that all-important string.
I'm Gabby Gabby, and I love you.
The lighting is about as beautiful and warm as can be. This is the happy, magical moment we've been building up to throughout her entire arc. And though it's not, it feels like we're in slow motion, holding on to this moment as much as possible. All the actions Harmony does are slow and gentle, a core memory being established as their eyes meet.
What have you got there?
I found this old doll.
Each time we cut back to Gabby Gabby, she's getting closer and closer. Everything's been falling into place, and those eyes are charming Harmony more and more and more.
You can take it home if you want.
Exactly what we all want to hear. The perfect response up to this point for Gabby Gabby, and the violins are coming in, someone's cutting onions in the composing room until... literally dropped from her highest point before, the top of the shelves, to the bottom of the floor, hidden in some gross, dark box. That blooming, warm lighting now minuscule in the shot, as the last glimmer of color from Gabby Gabby herself is obscured from the camera.
What happened?
And just like that, all the color of the scene is gone, drained away like Gabby's hopes and dreams. She's stunned, but unmoving. This is her lowest point, and she's not got the heart to climb her way out of her pit. She's the villain, and yet, of all the characters, it's her you feel the most for in this movie. This isn't just sympathy, this is sadness. And just to make matters a little worse...
There's my backpack. Mom, it's over here.
It's time for Woody and Forky to go. Gabby Gabby isn't our protagonist, and these two have their own arc they need to fulfill. For some people, life just isn't fair.
Forky! Mom, I found him.
And even though this has literally been the desired goal since the start of the movie, it's not lit any more nicely with a big happy score behind it. By this point, it's no longer the most wanted thing, and we're still in the darker depths as a bigger conflict continues on, unresolved. Woody views through the bag the sorry, dreary sight that is a lone lamp, the dim remains of any kind of happiness, and an unmoving box. Joyless as it is inanimate. The tone of this moment has entirely flipped on its head. It's an empathetic guilt that Woody can't ignore, continuing to watch it as we move further and further away from the event. And of course, one back and forth later.
What is a merry-go-round?
The spinny ride with lights and horses.
Oh, you mean a carousel?
Yes, yeah, a carousel.
Woody bolts into action. A good soldier never leaves a man behind. It's even got that Toy Story 1 motif. Coming back to help after the lights have gone dark for closing hours, Woody appears to comfort what's left of Gabby Gabby.
Hey, Gabby.
You can have your voice box back. I don't need it anymore.
Absolutely distraught. There's no more fighting back, no more big plan. Everything is ruined, and Gabby Gabby wants nothing more than to grovel in the darkness that life has presented to her. All those years at work wasted!
We have to hurry, come on.
No. Harmony was my chance. My time's over.
Gabby Gabby has lived her life in the shadow, and she can live the rest of her life in the shadows too. Now curling up as far away from her prior throne as she can be. As, from her perspective, she was born valueless, and having a functional voice box now does not change that fact. And for the rest of the scene, she stays below the center of the frame. Her and her power have truly been dropped. Woody, of course, disagrees, seeing the value in all toys, big and small, favorite or no, quirky or amalgamated. He's seen toys of all sorts find their kid, and he'll continue to do so today.
You hear that?
It starts with just a small question, expanding Gabby Gabby's world beyond her small dark box to see light, warmth off in the distance. Potential, hope. After hearing all about Andy this whole time, Woody then goes on to talk about Bonnie, Gabby Gabby's second chance.
What if you're wrong?
Well, if you sit on a shelf the rest of your life, you'll never find out.
And there comes the true crux, the real message behind Toy Story 4. You can live your whole life in fear, you can stay wallowing in the dark, or you can be daring, you can dream of reaching out of your comfort zone. You can push to not let failings get you down, and you can keep pushing forward until you receive what you desire and what you deserve. As no one, not even a toy, is truly worthless. And so they do, all as a team, because friendship is pretty important along the way. One individual's struggles doesn't have to be a burden they face alone. They crash into the land of light, the domain of hopes and dreams. But not Benson! Benson doesn't get a happy ending! My boy's been helping this whole time, why doesn't he deserve love? But she's part of the team now, all cruising through with a single goal in mind: get to the RV. Join the family. The path literally scattered with lights, hopes and dreams. But Gabby Gabby is drawn into something.
Gabby?
I think she's lost.
Sometimes a kid doesn't choose you, but you find the opportunity to truly choose a kid. Gabby Gabby doesn't have to go with Bonnie, there are plenty of kids out there. Some are more satisfied with the crew they have, others are more vulnerable and could really do with a friend for them. I tried to make that like you got a friend in me, but it didn't really work. And with just a couple of glances, the two can communicate beyond physical words. God, this is such a relief from the Emoji Movie.
Are you sure?
The scene switches away from diegetic sounds, it's all expressions and pianos here. These toys know what to do, and they don't need to explain it to get it across. For one final time, Gabby Gabby gets her turn to step out from the shadows and come into the light. The light isn't coming to her anymore, she is the light someone else in the darkness needs.
I'm Gabby Gabby. Will you be my friend?
I'll help you.
And the rest from there is history. This could have finished things up with the standard setup to resolution, but it didn't, and along the way it hit for a much better finale than before. It's not about a toy finding their kid, but a kid finding their toy, equally as needed to each other. I'm not exactly sure where this scene is supposed to cut off, so my apologies for kind of extending this here, but after we'd already had 3 movies up to this point, this sequence alone made everything worth it to me. It hits you in the gut in a way only the best of Pixar do, and all throughout it pulls out all the stops from the cinematography, the lighting, the music, to make sure you feel every beat of this development at every turn it takes. And in the end, it gives you a more mature ending to it all. Not so much that she doesn't get a happy ending, but that she gets a more humble ending. Her value isn't dictated by the quality of her parts. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she would be accepted even with the faulty voice box in the end. What truly matters at the end of all things is being a source of comfort at a time when a child needs it. Harmony was content and didn't need the perfect toy, but this child here needs anyone to look after them when they were vulnerable. And taking up that role, as Gabby Gabby learns, is truly the most noble thing a toy can do. And that is why, even a few years on, having already covered the film, I'm talking about it again today. It's a lesson and a twist that will be felt and remembered for years. Or at least, that's my thoughts on the scene. Before all this, Toy Story 4 was kind of going through the motions. It had some interesting characters, you know, but also some comedians just crammed into the voice cast. But this scene right here is when the story elevated onto a whole new plane. The change in tone that makes this an exponentially more mature film. And I developed a lot of respect for this movie here. But I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Maybe the Woody bit is more of a gut punch to you. I, meanwhile, was more than happy and hooked on the tale of Gabby Gabby. Either way, expect more of these in the future. Send in your suggestions. As for now, my name's been Dazz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.